This was not Ultra Instinct. What you had seen the first time Goku experienced Ultra Instinct was a combination of the technique that is self-movement, and also the beginning of something Goku has not yet fully been able to achieve. This explains why even Whis could not explain the heat leaking from Goku's body, even though he has mastered Ultra Instinct. This larger, more colorful aura, and Goku's silver eyes revealed the biggest mystery in the Tournament of Power. What exactly is that heat? What made Goku's Ultra Instinct so strange was Whis saying he didn't know what the heat coming from Goku's body was. This revealed that the heat wasn't something normally seen with the Ultra Instinct technique. But how could a simple statement from Whis reveal something so huge? It was said right after Whis had given Vegeta and Goku a challenge. The two Saiyans looked at their teacher with surprised eyes. It seemed too simple, but they both learned quickly that they were wrong. Their instructions were to attack Whis. Their confidence quickly changed to frustration. Their excited faces turned into angry frowns. Whis dodged every single one of their attacks. The problem was that they had no speed. The solution was a technique that, if mastered, would allow Goku and Vegeta to avoid all danger. Goku's curiosity couldn't go any higher. He couldn't help himself. He had to know. Could Whis move without thinking? The answer to his question would later be a key to unlocking Goku's Ultra Instinct heat mystery. Whis looked straight into Goku's eyes and confidently answered yes. The key to this statement was unlocked soon after Goku fell to Jiren during the Tournament of Power. Whis went crazy with excitement when he realized that Goku had tapped into Ultra Instinct. But don't you find it strange that Whis had to take time to figure out what was happening to Goku? If he's already mastered it, then don't you think it should have been obvious to him? But once he calmed down, he admitted that there was one thing he had never seen: the heat being emitted from Goku's body. Well, that's interesting. A master of Ultra Instinct couldn't tell what that was? There's only one reason for how this is even a possibility, and in this clip, the Dragon Ball Super creators showed you the proof right in front of your eyes why Whis didn't recognize the heat. But how is that not Ultra Instinct? There are two concepts that have been very important throughout Dragon Ball that'll give you the reason. The first one being what heat represents, something that was easily explained when Goku looked across from him. Beerus floated there smiling. Goku was ready for a rematch, but Beerus decided to be lenient on his opponent. Having skipped from a max level of Super Saiyan 3 all the way to now literally being a Super Saiyan God, Beerus understood that Goku wouldn't be used to the amount of energy and power that he would now have, something that holds the secret truth behind this mystery heat. So he told Goku to go ahead, test your powers out. Goku rushed forward and went right past Beerus. Similar to the moment Kefla underestimated her own power and speed, Goku also tripped over himself now. Goku was amazed. His heart raced as he took in how much power he had gained. The energy of excitement was building between the two gods. But Goku wondered if only his speed had improved. His smile relaxed. It was time to get serious. Time to test this new god strength out. He pulled his arms to his side. His palms meeting, the energy started to grow. But there was something different about this classic attack of his. And that difference is the answer to what heat represents. The first concept you need to learn in order to see how Goku's heat is not the same as Ultra Instinct. What were these tiny particles floating around his Kamehameha wave? This wouldn't be the last time Beerus saw them. These same particles would later be seen in the Tournament of Power. As he watched Goku learn his new god power, Beerus had no idea he would one day lose this unlikely friend. Another key to the mystery heat was coming. Goku wasn't there. The only explanation is that he had been vaporized. Beerus shook, his body in a constant state of switching between emotions. 1 second afraid, the next sad, and then he would be angry. Could this really be the end of Goku, the mortal that has shown Beerus more potential than any other mortal he had ever crossed paths with? But suddenly, something in the air changed. All of Beerus' negative thoughts were all at once swept away. But he didn't return anything like he had been before. Beerus' eyes widened in disbelief when he saw the tiny particles. These were the same as what he had seen around Goku's Kamehameha wave that one day long ago. But this time, Beerus noticed two differences that connected them to Goku's leaking heat. The first difference was that there were many more particles floating around Goku's body now than when Goku had first become Super Saiyan God. And the second difference was that the particles were now moving at a much faster pace. The increase in amount plus the increase in speed proved that Goku Goku's body had much more energy than it had as a Super Saiyan God. Visually, these particles look very similar to bubbles that come from the heat in a pot of boiling water. And with what you're about to learn, that doesn't seem like a coincidence. It can all be explained in the moments after Goku's God attack showed the floating bubble particles of heat. Now somewhat used to his new God powers, Goku was ready to fight, and he finally got what he wished for. Beerus now respected Goku's power enough to attack him. Goku went on the defensive and threw his arms in front of him. His wrists began to burn, and when Beerus decided to pull away, Goku understood why he felt the sting of a small fire. Beerus's massive God energy had put so much force into his punches that Goku's wristbands literally began to smoke. Another connection between an increase in energy and a source of heat, similar to the particles you saw before. As their attacks grew in power, Goku realized this could become dangerous for the people that were around them, so he took it to the stars. Soon the collision of their punches sent huge waves of energy that burned the asteroids and incinerated them. Do you see the connection between their God energy and this? All the forms of heat you have seen were all created by the same thing, energy. And the more energy there is, the more heat there is. But there's also one more connection here. The more heat and energy that you see in any attack or form is the Dragon Ball Super creator's way of showing you a level of power, which explains another piece of this heat mystery from the Tournament of Power. The best example of this happened when Beerus' face suddenly had the look of a true villain. Goku felt a strong burn cut into him. Beerus' hand had turned to fire and had pierced through Goku's skin, but as Beerus removed his hand, the fire remained in Goku, permanently a part of him as his skin turned pale. He fell from the stars and through the Earth's atmosphere. He passed the clouds and hit the ocean, and as he sank to the bottom of the sea, he surprisingly started to feel excited. He wasn't sure why, but he couldn't keep himself from smiling. And even more shocking, the fire in Goku's wound was not put out by the water around him. He thought of the immense power Beerus had once again just proven to him. Suddenly, the fire in his wound sank into his body, not even leaving a scar. And as that energy left behind by Beerus spread throughout Goku's body, and he shot back up into the stars as if nothing had even happened, you were shown the benefit of absorbing the heat of energy. This had not been any ordinary fire. It was another representation of the power of God energy. But only by looking at the way Goku actually became a god can you fully find what that benefit is, and to see for yourself the difference between the heat and Ultra Instinct. Goku found Beerus about to release his destructive god energy onto the earth. He instantly jumped in front of the angry god, but this time, he wasn't asking for a fight. He was offering a suggestion that would reveal the benefit of absorbing energy from another person. Why not use the Dragon Balls? If anyone could find the Super Saiyan God, it would be Shenron. Unfortunately, Shenron had bad news. Super Saiyan God was nothing but a myth. Beerus refused to believe what he was hearing. He knew what he'd seen in his own dream. How dare they lie to his face like that? But to ease the God of Destruction's raging anger, Shenron had one more suggestion. The instructions were for 5 Saiyans to join together and allow their energies to form as one and be absorbed into the one they intended to create a god. It started to work. Goku's body lifted off the ground. The energy, the power. Goku felt their heat rushing through his veins. Goku had become the Super Saiyan God. Through taking in the other Saiyan energies and later spreading the fire of Beerus' God energy through his lifeless body, you were shown the true capability that absorbing energy from another can provide. Goku's own level of energy had increased significantly, also meaning his power and the heat within him also had increased. And interestingly, something extremely similar to this happened after Jiren had proven himself far more powerful than Goku. And so, Goku asked his teammates to allow him to absorb their energy. But this time, it wasn't into himself. It was into a huge mass of energy. But when he survived falling into the dense energy, many questions were left unanswered. Krillin turned to Whis to ask him what had happened. He explained that its energy had been absorbed into Goku's body and was acting as a battery to replenish him. But isn't that exactly what happened when he became Super Saiyan God? There is only one difference between these two times. To become a god, Goku absorbed energy from others to give himself more energy and therefore more power. And when his life was at its very end, he absorbed Beerus' energy to literally bring him back to life and to full power. So when the same thing happened again versus Jiren, he absorbed the energy of an attack that was created by the energies from others to once again give himself more power. Doesn't that also mean the Dragon Dragon Ball Super creators would represent this by showing you a lot of heat. Here's the fiery aura of Goku Super Saiyan God. And here's the heat leaking from Goku Ultra Instinct, like with the tiny particles floating around Goku's body and his attacks. The heat coming from Goku had increased, which leads to the second concept you need to learn in order to see how the heat in Goku's silver eyes explain that this is not Ultra Instinct. Many still say Ultra Instinct is a form, but what the heat representing power and energy tells you is that Ultra Instinct is missing a number of things in order for it to be considered a form. The first of these things